This is the large Celine Romy bag, and this is the bag that broke my HERMES journey, and definitely this was the bag that I was looking for. So if you are looking for a large stylish bag, this is definitely one of the best options that I found. So I was walking around with my Kelly 28, which is already a pretty roomy bag, and on that day I wanted to throw in a shawl and an umbrella. So I really struggled to close the bag, and so I knew I definitely needed a larger bag. So I walked into Celine, and basically I removed all of the contents of this bag and I put it into that Celine Romy bag, and everything fit without any problems, as you can see here, and I put even more in here so that you can see what this looks like. So let me give you a description of this bag. I'll show you what I'm currently carrying in here. I have slightly overstuffed it, but I just wanted to demonstrate how much it can fit, and in the end I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this bag based on use of this bag non-stop for about a week, and in the end I'm going to talk about some of the other bags I did consider but didn't make it to the final round. So let's get started. So the dimensions of this bag according to the website is 43 centimeters along here, 25 centimeters here, and 11 centimeters wide. You can see it has a very generous shoulder strap that is adjustable with 3 holes, and the shoulder strap is roughly 33 to 44 centimeters, so definitely a lot of room in case you're wearing large sweaters or jackets. That'll fit with no problem. It is made out of calf skin, as you can see here, and on the inside, if you can see here, it's made out of this nice suede material, and it's basically just one large hole. So there's not a lot of hardware on this bag. As you can see, it's just one large zipper, and that zips perfectly fine. And I can show you what the front looks like. Basically, it's just this slouchy bag. Here it is on the side. You can see here is the adjustable shoulder strap. The hardware here is gold, and I love the white stitching. So this is the side. Here's the bottom. There's no feet on the bottom, but that's perfectly fine. And the other side looks like this. And this is the other side. There really isn't much of a logo on here. You can see here that it says Celine Paris next to the zipper, but you can hardly notice it, which adds to the Celine minimum aesthetic that we often know Celine for. So this is generally what the bag looks like, and basically if you pull it up, you can see it becomes this hobo style, and of course if you fill it up more, you're probably gonna get more of this type of style, but I do have a lot in here, so I can kind of show you that even if you have a lot, it does tend to hold this kind of a shape. So let me show you what's in this bag. This is probably way too heavy for me, and you can already tell it's not even full, but just for the purposes of this video, let me show you what's inside. So as you can see here, it's pretty full, but it isn't to the brim, and you notice that most of the stuff is mainly in the center, although I could kind of push things to the side. So I have in here to start a Starbucks water bottle. I have a journal in here with a pen attached. Of course, here is my phone, although I'm generally holding this with my hands most of the time. I have my wallet, which is just the HERMES Calvi Duo, a hand sanitizer, and then I have my Louis Vuitton mini pochette, and inside of here I basically have 2 lipsticks, a Clé de Peau. I also have a Chantecaille lipstick, and then I have some mints, and finally I have a concealer. This was a gift from Kat. I have my AirPods in this large Casetify case. I have this large umbrella that I can lay along the base of my bag if I really wanted to. A large pack of tissues, a large cashmere shawl. This is the item that I want to place in most of my bags because it sometimes gets chilly with the AC in the room. And finally, I have a camera, which is the Fujifilm X100V. I can definitely stick that in the bag if I wanted it, or I could shoulder carry this bag. But just for the purposes of this demonstration, I've also thrown that in there. And if you're really curious, definitely I've seen some people fit their 13-inch MacBook Pro into this, and basically it would just open wide like this instead of having the slouchy middle part. To be honest, I really don't think a lot of these bags are built for something like a MacBook Pro, and I do recommend that you use a separate bag for your computer and heavy items because these bags are just not that cheap, and you really don't want to destroy your beautiful bags by placing overly heavy items in there. But of course, if you needed just a quick solution to put your MacBook into, you probably put that in there, although like I said, it would be more of this shape instead of this really beautiful slouchy shape. Other items I've been able to throw in here without any problems is that if you carry a lot of makeup, you could throw in a makeup bag, you can throw in a hat, an extra change of clothes, or even an extra pair of shoes like some ballerina flats or even some sandals. Definitely I've done it with this bag, and so I absolutely love this bag and highly recommend it. And when the bag is entirely empty, you can see it just folds into this beautiful hobo style, and I can basically sling this over my shoulder like this, or towards the back like this, or I can carry it on the crook of my arm. Again, no issues. I'm pretty sure it's so wide I can probably even fit my thigh through this. Just kidding. So let's get into some of the pros and cons of this bag. I would say there are definitely more pros than cons. First of all, this bag is super lightweight. I hate heavy bags. If some of you have seen some of my deal breaker videos, if this bag is already really heavy to carry without items in it, definitely I'm not going to break my back over a bag. So this is super lightweight, which I really love. The shoulder strap is adjustable, the drop is really good, and it's super comfortable. So for bigger, heavier bags, I do prefer a wider and shorter strap to just have better distribution of the weight. So this is definitely very comfortable. The look is very classic. There are no huge logos, just the small Celine print, as you can see there. And so I don't really need to worry about this style kind of going out of date or being too loud. If I'm worried about the security of the place that I'm going to, you don't really see logo. So definitely it's very safe, and the leather is really nice. It's very soft and supple, and I really love that this does have a zipper. So a lot of totes on the market are also really great large bags, but I sometimes do really like the added security of this zipper, and I just really love this really slouchy look. It's just a bit more stylish and fun and very comfortable. So definitely I have no complaints about this bag. The zipper is pretty smooth, and so I definitely think there are a lot more pros than cons. I really have no complaints. If I really had to be really picky and give it cons, one of them could be that there are no feet, as you can see. So when you're placing this bag on a surface, you just need to be careful that it won't get dirty. So this bag comes in several colors. To be honest, there was a white one I really liked, but just knowing my own track record, it would get dirty in no time. So having feet would have been really nice, but it's definitely not a deal breaker. Another con I could think of for some of you, although it isn't for me, is that if you really stuff it up a lot, you kind of lose the saggy part, so it looks more like a rectangle. I don't know, maybe that's a pro or a con. I kind of prefer it to look saggy, and definitely it will have no issues looking saggy given the number of items I can stuff in there, as you saw before. Another con, if I had to be really picky, is that if you really want to open this bag, it's going to be a two-hand operation, meaning you need to do this and use your second hand to open the zipper, but it doesn't really bother me. I mean, you could kind of leave it with the zipper open, but I prefer to have it zipped closed just for security purposes. But definitely you can carry that open if you're not too worried about things falling out. And the final con, which isn't necessarily a con, because in general all big bags, if you put items inside, they can get lost inside just because it's a big bag, right? But that's going to happen for any big bag like a tote or any other bag. So if you want some organization, you can use an organizer or put your items in pouches so that they're they're easier to find, especially if they're smaller items. In terms of wear and tear, I really cannot comment yet on this bag. I've only had her for about a week, but I mean, it's absolutely fine. I haven't really babied her, but I really haven't been that aggressive with it, although I have been on some pretty crowded trains. And the really nice thing is that I don't really have to worry too hard about other people kind of rubbing against my bag. So far, it does look absolutely fine. And if I may say so, the leather does feel a bit more supple than the first day that I got it, which is really nice. And I really love the sagginess of this bag. So I have noticed that not a lot of people have talked about this bag, or not that many people seem to be aware of it. It does also come in a men's version, so basically it is the same size. The only difference is that for the men's version they will use silver hardware. I've also seen that the initial launch of this bag came out in the medium size, which is also a great size. However, for the purposes that I wanted to use this bag for, I prefer the larger size just because it's just got more sag, and like I said, I really needed something for the extra change of clothing, extra makeup, and the umbrella, and definitely this just fit the bill. So finally, I wanted to also talk about other large bags I was considering. So I do have this medium size Longchamp Hobo Bag, and I absolutely love this bag. I've been using her for maybe about 2 months. Great price point. I use her especially on rainy days. It is very similar to the Romy bag, fairly large, hobo style, and I love that it's so carefree, also very lightweight. The only reason why I wanted to get the Celine bag was that I found this a bit too casual for work, and so the Celine bag being a bit more polished, I can get away with using that bag for work. However, it also works as a casual bag. So there were also other bags I considered. I also looked at the Row Park Tote. So this is kind of like the East-West Park Tote. I really wanted to like that bag. However, I found that the design of the base seemed to have been changed, and you can see that the base is really square and it really protrudes out, which is not really great because sometimes I'm in transit and people will bump up against me. So I also tried the Row North-South Park Tote, and I also really wanted to like that bag. I love the leather and the design, but it was too big. So what I noticed is that when I am carrying the bag was so long that it would kind of like hit my thigh, and because it is a fairly large bag and you tend to put a lot into it, I almost felt like I was being hit by a brick constantly. While I was trying the bag, I noticed it kept swinging on my thigh, so that was definitely really annoying. And there is a medium size which is probably more appropriate. However, I don't know if it's going to fit my needs for the number of things I want to put inside. And now the final bag, the bag that kind of started the hunt for a larger bag, is the Chanel 22. And oh boy, when we talk about Chanel, there's so many things that I want to say, but definitely there were a couple of deal breakers. Number one, the price. Alright, it is a very expensive bag, but I'm kind of okay if the price is a bit more expensive if the quality is there. And if you haven't seen all the drama regarding this bag and the quality issues, I'm sure you can do a quick search on YouTube and you will see them all come out. So the quality was another issue. And then finally, I did have a coworker who owned the Chanel 22 bag in the size medium, and I was really fortunate to be able to try her bag. And she didn't have too much in the bag. She had 2 phones and basically the essentials, and I found it really heavy. And so because she didn't have too many items in that bag and I found the bag really heavy, I just knew it would not work for me, especially given that it's using the chain straps. I found that they were digging into my shoulder. So if you own the large size or the jumbo flap bag, you will kind of get a sense of what that kind of feels like if the bag is kind of full or not even that full and it's heavy. It kind of digs in the same way. So definitely I knew it was not going to work for me, which started the hunt for other bags that could be considered as a large bag option. The Longchamp bag that I've shown you in this medium hobo size, it definitely a great alternative and I highly recommend it, but definitely it was just a little too casual for work, and hence this Celine Romy bag was definitely the winner. So this is my review and first impressions on the Celine Large Romy Bag. What do you think? Do you like this bag? Would you consider getting this bag? Leave me a message down below if you are considering this bag, and if you are, what color would you like? Or do you have any other kind of large non-tote bags that you would recommend as a large bag to use both for leisure and work? If you have any ideas, please do share them with me. So thank you again for watching my video. I hope it was useful or helpful in case you're looking for this bag. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down below. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram, and I will leave the name of my account down below. I tend to be a bit more active on Instagram, so feel free to follow me there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video again today. I wish you a fabulous day, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye now.